Kyrie Irving is one of the most coveted free agents this offseason, so everybody's watching for any clues on what he's planning to do. Check out this post he shared with the captain. Hermetic Friends Incorporated, my light brothers and sisters, the age of no more secrets is upon us. These are words from me. World peace will be achieved in our lifetime, and we better believe it. Let them have the fabricated BS that genuine love and energy spreads all over the world. I see all. I am.
Good luck. Hey, look, whoever signed him, good luck.
I mean, what?
I'm just so glad we got that in the show so Jenna could read it. You did a great job.
Normally I'll read over something like that. I was like, oh, I'm sure it'll be easy.
I did talk to a prominent general manager. They do have concerns about Kyrie and some of his.
You think? What was
I mean, it's hard to give a max contract to that.
That was a tweet? I thought you only get 140.
It was an Instagram caption, so you have unlimited.
Oh, man.
Man,
good luck.
Ground, man.
Hermetic Order of the Blue Rose I was reading about. Urban legend said that many presidents, captain of industry, and celebrities were members of it. Harness the power of magic.
Who's in the picture? I thought you guys. Who's in the picture?
I guess his boy.
That's a good question. I don't know. That's the picture he posted. Hanging out with his buddy.
So much.
Hermetic Order of the Blue Rose. My God.
That's like a Tom Hanks movie.
It's safe to say he's not watching the finals.
Move on to Klay Thompson now.
I just wonder what prescription. What do you ask your pharmacist for to make you think like that? That's what I'm puzzled about. Because I'm about get me some of that.
Man, despite the Warriors' win over the Raptors to even the finals at a game apiece, it wasn't all great news. Klay Thompson, who had a team-high 25 points, tweaked his hamstring in the fourth quarter. He had to leave the game with 8 minutes still left to play. Steve Kerr addressed Klay's injury after the game.
Klay said he'll be fine, but, you know, Klay could be half dead and he'd say he'd be. So we'll see. You know, he pulled his hamstring. He thinks it's minor. So I don't know what that means going forward.
All right, see, let me ask you, how important is Klay to the Warriors' chances in Game 3?
Oh, he's critical. He's critical. Besides Steph's overall ball handling, we know Steph's ability to dribble the basketball makes him special. His ability to be able to shoot from 30 and wherever he needs to makes him special. His ability to be able to move without the ball. Now, Klay doesn't have all that, but with the passing that they do, 38 field goals, 34 assists. Klay for this system is perfect for this system. Also, he's perfect to play opposite of Steph Curry because of what Steph is going to do to the defense, and Steph is going to be the primary ball handler. Klay, he loves a lot of stuff, but he does not like to dribble the basketball. And one thing that I just like to keep in mind, just from looking at the injury, every time I've injured my hamstring, the first thing the trainer asked me, Jenna, was, where is the spot? And what becomes important is the spot is if it's very, very low, closer to your knee, that's not a good spot. And if it's up by your buttocks, above the middle of the hamstring, that's the worst spot for it. Klay injured his right in the belly. Watch when he gets up from shooting his shot. He's going to grab right in the belly. Now, if he had grabbed his butt, then I would have been like, oh, because your glued muscle and your hamstring muscle, that glued muscle being so powerful, so there might be a chance with it being in the belly that it might not be as severe as other people, but there are different severities to this. This is not like KD's calf that, oh, he needs to strain the top, the inside. No, all the calf is bad, but the hamstring, there are parts of it, Twan, that are more alarming than the other parts of the hamstring.
Yeah, I never had a hamstring injury, but I know I got.
You know the reason why?
Why?
Because you don't move fast enough. Oh, well, that's an old fast twitch muscle fibers. All right, guys that are bigger boned, guys that are heavier, what they do is they strain, they don't pull. Now you've had some muscle strains.
But the difference is I can dribble and shoot. I don't need nobody to help me get a shot.
Yes. All right.
Klay needs somebody to help him get a shot, but that's for later.
Make sure you get that in.
No,
but that's also important given the injury, right?
Yeah.
Because he can't get his own shot. He has to be running off screens in order to be effective.
That's what's going to make it. And you saw it last night. When he's aggressive, he's moving, he makes tough shots. Now them tough shots become even harder because he don't have the lift that he used to have. It's going to be an injury that he's going to, obviously. You saw what happened to Chris Paul. And if he could play, he would have played last night. You know Klay would have went back in that game, but he couldn't get back in the game. So you know it's a little bit bit more serious than what he's letting off. I know Steve Kerr is going to wait until the MRI and check it out, but I'm looking at Friday maybe. Just giving it a shot. I don't see him playing Wednesday at all.
KD both coming back in Game 4.
Yeah. So you think he's going to miss Game 3?
Oh, I think he misses Game 3. And if I'm Steve Kerr, you got to look at. They have the luxury. We're going home, we're 1-1. I wouldn't even want to play Kevin or Clay into Game 4. I'll be looking at Game 4 to play both of those guys.
But then you're punting Game 3.
Yeah. I mean, you're trying to win it. Don't get me wrong, but you're hoping that you can win it.
Well, this is the thing. I'm willing to punt if me trying to go for a first down don't cause me to lose Game 4
I'm thinking about Game 5, 6, and 7.
No, I understand the idea that what you don't want to do is rush Clay back to where he would only have to miss Game 3, but then you're rushing back for Game 3, and he misses Games 4, 5, and the rest of the series. I get that. I do not think the Warriors can beat the Raptors, a team as good defensively as the Raptors, with Clay and KD out. Even with Boogie being an addition, we saw what the Raptors were able to do defensively once Clay went out of that game. Now, I understand the Warriors will now
be ready for that.
Be ready for the box and one. There's a reason NBA teams don't run a box and one, is it can be exploited if you expect the other team to do it.
You got too many good shooters in the NBA to run a box and one.
Right, and so Quinn Cook would be a bigger factor in the game. They would ask Boogie to spread out a little bit more. I understand that the Warriors, it's not like if Clay's out, the Raptors is going to run a box and one for 48 minutes. They wouldn't do that. But the Warriors are struggling to score as is. Steph is struggling at a high percentage as is. He scored 0 points in that fourth quarter. He was he started the game poorly. He ended the game poorly. He was good in the second and third quarters is when Steph got going. Clay was their best player yesterday. He was 10 of 17 from the field. He was 4 of 6 from 3. All the other guys.
Very aggressive.
Right. I mean, and he was making very difficult shots. And what I thought you were going to say earlier, see, when you said he's the perfect complement for Steph, you were just talking offensively. I thought you were going to say on the other end, where he helps Steph enormously defensively.
He's the perfect complement as a teammate. He doesn't require a lot of maintenance. He's going to guard the perimeter defender. Everything about Clay is perfect for Golden State and for Steph.
I just believe you cannot win this. If the Golden State Warriors cannot win this series without being healthy. Someone, I know they're not going to get to 100%, but they have to get somewhat healthy, and that's only going to come with rest. A hamstring, you need rest. So if I can, I'm not saying that, but if you go down 2-1, are we going to be on here talking about that the series is over?
No.
If Golden State's down 2-1?
No.
Okay, then. So I want to get healthy for Game 5, 6, and 7.
I'm going to agree with you because also, let's say, I'm not giving up Game 3, but I'm looking for a longer series. I'm with you. Let's try to get them healthy for game number 4, and then let's just turn into a mini series. Would you take the Golden State Warriors in a 3-game series going against Toronto? Healthy. And I think that's what Steve Kerr, and that's what you're talking about doing.
Yeah, healthy.
How do the Warriors win Game 3 if they have to do it without Clay and without Boogie?
I mean, it would be one, if they were able to do it. Well, no, Boogie's going to play, but without Clay.
I'm sorry, without Clay and without KD.
It would be one of the greatest wins in this run. Yeah. It would be if they can beat Toronto, who is playing so well over this entire, not just playoff run, but this entire season. If they can beat Toronto in a game, they would be starting Quinn Cook? You're going to start Quinn Cook? Like your first guy off the bench after Livingston is going to be McKinney?
He's the best offensive player.
Absolutely.
Quinn Cook is the guy I would start.
And so if they are able to win that game, it is an all-time win. Now, Clay's never missed a playoff game. Clay barely misses regular season games. He's 760 games eligible, regular season and playoffs, since he came in the league. He's played 735 of them. I thought he was going to be out for Game 2 of the finals last year when he had JR hit him when he sprained his ankle. Now, on that point, C, you mentioned before the show, you haven't said it on the air yet, it's a big difference between coming back from a sprained ankle, which is about pain tolerance, and a muscle injury, which can really restrict you. Like, you can sometimes gut through a sprained ankle, right? And yes. Difference between that and trying to gut through either a calf strain or a hamstring pull. I don't think the Warriors have enough offense to beat Toronto without Clay or KD.
I just think Toronto's defense, and they've shown, is really, really good. They got to feel good about their defense in the series. They've held them. I thought Golden State would get to 115, 120. They've done a terrific job of defending them. They've kind of controlled Steph. This hasn't been 2 games where he's really went off. I think they're guarding him just as good as anybody's ever guarded Steph.
Yep.
I think they got to be healthy to win. And I think Steve Kerr has to figure this out. It's me buying a game and giving it a shot to get some rest and to shorten the series up with me having a full healthy team on the floor, whether they're not 100% or not. But if you can go in game 4 with KD and Klay Thompson on the floor, it gives you a better chance as the series goes along to win it. This is going to be tough anyway. Toronto's in this series. This is going to be a long series. They're definitely in there. They make a couple shots last night. We could be talking about 2-0. So they're not far away from making this a series. But I think Golden State has to get healthy. And I get you, Steve Kerr, thinking about that. We're not going to be able to beat this team not being healthy.
And we have to realize, too, that Klay, as good as he is a shooter, man, they are not as good a defensive team. What kind of pressure does it put on Steph? If him and Quinn Cook have to play the guards, neither one of them, neither one of them, okay, like, they can be punished in the paint, especially a lot of pick and rolls and a lot of switches in this. But I'm excited to see, is Klay, because he is the Iron Man, is he able to gut it out? I don't believe he's going to be able to gut it out in game number 3 after seeing what I did in game number 2. But it's going to be exciting because I don't believe they can win, and the reason why I picked the Raptors because I didn't think they were going to be healthy.
And you mentioned earlier that, listen, the Warriors have been dancing through the raindrops these playoff runs with injury. They've been healthy, and their opposition's been hurt. In 2015, Kyrie and Kevin Love are out. In 2017, Kawhi, who's given them buckets in Game 1, he gets his ankle, he rolls his ankle. 2018, Chris Paul goes out. They're paying that bill 5 times over this playoff run. Boogie tears his quad. KD goes out. Iggy strains a calf. Now Klay potentially could miss time. Everyone's been hurt except Steph, who's playing with the dislocated finger that he suffered early in the playoffs.
Who, by the way, started the game yesterday and needed to get treatment because his breathing or he was off or he just didn't feel right. He just seemed like he was
all
sick
the injuries they've avoided, they seem to be biting them this playoff run.
Klay and KD will be game time decisions by Kerr?
Well, I think we'll probably know about
they have to announce it before because the line on the game and everything.
But it'll be after practice, probably, right?
Yes.
All right. Antoine, thanks so much for joining us today. Take a break coming up. Do the Raptors still have a chance after blowing game 2? That is next on First Things First.
The reason why I said that you hadn't pulled is because one of my wide receivers